Well, it's a pretty calm week in the Los Angeles real estate market, but looking at the data, we see that underneath the serene surface, some currents are beginning to churn, and they're pointing toward prices climbing in the weeks ahead. By how much? Let's take a look at that in today's Los Angeles Real Estate Roundup for October 14th, 2024. Brought to you by Blueprint. Save $20,000 in realtor fees and work with a great realtor when you buy with Blueprint. Learn more at www.buywithblueprint.com. Now let's get into the data. All right, and we're looking at the latest print from Redfin for the Los Angeles metro market. And as you can see, the median price of a home in Los Angeles remained flat this week, moving completely horizontally from $887,000 to $887,000. This is down from a peak of $932,000 12 weeks ago. And as you can see, pricing for 2024 is beginning to approach pricing for 2023. So the question, as we head toward the end of the year, is, are we going to fall below last year's pricing and end the year in the negative? Or should we expect something of a rebound or flattening and end the year in positive territory? Well, let's dig a little deeper and find the answer. Now we're looking at the median list price of a home in Los Angeles, and right now we have climbed to $955,229. This is the fifth consecutive week of increases in the median list price. How has median list price been climbing so much when median sale price has been falling off? Well, one thing you have to keep in mind is that the new listing median sales price reflects homes that were listed this week, whereas the median sale price reflects homes that were sold or put under contract about a month ago. So today's low prices reflect the homes that went into contract 4 or 5 weeks ago, because that's how long the escrow process is, about a month, 4 to 5 weeks. So when we look at the median sales price graph, what we're looking at is somewhat dated data. We're looking at contracts that were signed a month ago, whereas when we look at new listing median price, we're looking at much more recent data. We're looking at homes that were listed this week. And these homes are being listed by real estate agents. 1 out of 10 of them professional real estate agents. That's a joke. What I mean is, yes, some real estate agents are knuckleheads, but some are actually pretty professional, engage the market, and have a good sense of where pricing is going. So the fact that we've seen listing price climb for the past month means that real estate agents feel like they can get more for the homes they're selling. So even though pricing is on the decline, the fact that we were level this week and the fact that listing prices have been on the upswing suggests to me that we should be seeing some price increases in the coming weeks. To what degree are prices going to start climbing in Los Angeles? Let's keep digging. Now we're looking at new listings on the Los Angeles market, and we fell off slightly from last week. This week we saw 1,385 new listings come to market, whereas last week we were at 1,403. However, if we scroll down to the year-over-year graph, you can see that for pretty much the whole year, we've been in this range of 15 to 20% over last year. That means on a weekly basis in Los Angeles, we've been seeing 15 to 20% more listings come to market each week. Now we're looking at homes sold. This is the number of homes sold each week in Los Angeles. And as you can see, for most of the year, we're pretty much in lockstep with last year. So more properties coming to market, but we're selling the same number of homes roughly, which means we should have accumulating inventory on the market. This week we sold 994 homes on the LA market. That's up from last week's 946. However, remember, this is also somewhat stale data because homes that sold this week went into contract a month ago or 5 weeks ago. So this level of sales reflects the number of homes that went into contract back here. To see what's happening this week, we need to look at pending sales. So pending sales are homes that went under contract this week and then will show up as homes sold in 4 to 5 weeks. And as you can see, in the last few weeks, this number has been growing and growing relative to last year. In fact, this week we sold on the Los Angeles market 1,198 homes. That's 10.4% more homes sold than this week last year. And this actually marks the first time that we're double digits ahead of last year's home sales. So new listings are bringing homes to market at a rate elevated over last year. Homes sold has been pretty level with last year, but we're seeing now in pending sales that home sales are actually picking up. That's another sign that we should be expecting some price climbs. Now we're looking at active listings, and this is where the numbers behind homes coming to market and homes exiting market meet. As you can see, broadly speaking, we have a lot more active inventory than we did last year. In fact, this trend has been growing all year because, as previously noted, every week we've seen 15 to 20% more new listings than the same week the previous year. Now, new listings peaked in August, started to decline, but has since nearly plateaued. So let me clear this up so I can show you the trend line. We came up, we started to go down, and now we're almost flat. Now, if this trend continues like this, and I think that's a little exaggerated, I don't think we'll actually have flat inventory for the rest of the year. But if we don't see the same drop-off in active inventory that we're used to seeing, like in 2022 and in 2021, and eventually in 2023, then that would suggest price declines. The more inventory on the market, the more supply, the weaker prices. And we see evidence of this weakness in pricing when we look at weeks of supply. And weeks of supply is where all the numbers come together. You have your supply metrics meeting your demand metrics, and the result is an equation, weeks of supply, which basically says how many weeks would it take to sell out all the inventory that's left on the market. See, that's a balance of supply and demand. Now, weeks of supply fell off this week, but you'll notice that weeks of supply fell off this week every year for the last 4 years. I don't know exactly why this week always sees fall off, but regardless, I think it's safe to say that the fall off we saw this week is probably not a trend. And if we step back a little bit, we see that this year, the orange line is the highest of these lines. Right now, we're looking at 16.2 weeks of supply on the market. That's more than we had in 2022 when prices took a nosedive. That's more than we had in 2023, which relatively speaking was a normal year. And that's way more supply than we had in 2021, which was, of course, a really active, hot year. So with supply in this relatively elevated position, we shouldn't expect price climbs, right? How is it that the Los Angeles market can exhibit both signs of prices increasing and also signs that prices shouldn't be increasing? Is it possible that Los Angeles can have it both ways? The answer is yes. Let me show you what I mean. Right now, we're looking at off-market in 2 weeks as a percentage of pending sales. This is the percentage of sales that went pending this week that had been listed for just 2 weeks or less. Now, that number's been climbing for 5 weeks, and we now sit at 26.7% of homes on the Los Angeles market going pending within 2 weeks of being listed. This is very current data, and it's been climbing for 5 weeks. This shows us a market that is moving faster, and a market that's speeding up is also a market that's seeing price increases. So even though the median price has been falling for the past 5 weeks, well, it was flat this past week and then falling for 4 weeks before that, at least some segment of the market was simultaneously heating up. But at the same time, and now we're looking at the percent of active listings with price drops in the Los Angeles market, we've been seeing price drops going up for the past 5 weeks. Right now, 4.6% of homes on the Los Angeles market have had price drops. This is also very current data because it reflects what's happening to homes on the market right now. So over the past 5 weeks, we've simultaneously had sale prices falling, list prices climbing, more homes selling faster, and more homes getting price cuts. And that is the Los Angeles housing market in 2024 in a nutshell. The only way to stay on top of things is by staying on top of things. So subscribe and tune in next week for next week's Los Angeles Real Estate Roundup.